Hello friends, welcome to the next workshop. In this workshop we're checking out backwards and forwards skidoo. Now, not only is there an old saying, you don't know something until you can do it backwards and forwards, okay? That's not the only reason I'm doing this. It's because the phrasing possibilities extend even more than what we have originally with the skidoo system. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful way to incorporate the phrasing into your playing, backwards and forwards. So whatever skidoo you're doing, you're gonna do it, instead of one skidoo and the number first, you're gonna do it the skidoo part first. Skidoo, 1, 2, skidoo, okay? So now, the tricky part is that if you keep doing it backwards, it sounds like forwards after a while. So you always have to keep that in mind, that it becomes a little bit tricky, okay? So what are we doing? Backwards and forward skidoo. We're gonna use one skidoo and skidoo 1 as the first example. And we're gonna be using extensions. If you don't remember what the extensions are, it's basically leaving space between skidoos, okay? So just for kicks, I'm going to do the first example here, just on the snare drum. 1 skidoo, skidoo 1, okay? So you can hear what it sounds like. 1, 2. Okay? The extensions is the little space that I leave in between. If I leave no space in between, it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's not that exciting. You can do it and you can continue on that way and mix the skidoos, but I like to leave a little bit of space. Anyway, you get the idea. So it's 1 skidoo, 1 skidoo, 2 times 1 skidoo, forwards, number first, and then 3 times backwards, the skidoo part first. 1 skidoo, 1 skidoo, skidoo 1, skidoo 1, skidoo 1. Okay? So in time, it sounds like this. So what can you do with that, all right? You can do many, many things. Obviously, use it as fills, as grooves. So let's use that as a groove idea. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, So very interesting. You just have that phrase in your head and you play with it, okay? So any phrase that you can come up with, you can use it in the backwards and forwards way, okay? As a groove, as fills, as solo ideas, you know, anything. You can also, of course, do the augmentation, right hand lead. Okay, let's just do for a moment right hand lead, see what that sounds like. these examples are written out for you to get a basis for your phrasing, right? Once you have the whole system incorporated, you can do things like this. This is going to be all skidoo phrasing, okay? First, in a groove setting, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, those are just random skidoos. 5 skidoo, 2, but just so you can get an idea of what the sound, the texture that creates, okay? If you use it as fills, it's going to sound like this. Backwards and forwards skidoos now, okay? So you can create very interesting, very rich, rhythmically rich ideas with this. And it's very useful for your creativity. Now, creativity is super important in your drumming. Why? Because you're going to reach a point eventually when you max out at what you're playing, right? You max out at your ideas if you don't use rhythm, these rhythmic motifs and ideas and concepts. If you just play licks over and over and over, you run out of ideas. Maybe you can modify the licks a little bit, but it's super limiting. These concepts give you endless amounts of material to draw from, okay? So I'm just gonna play a little more skidoos here, so you can check it out. Now, what I'm going to do is use the hi-hat as the skidoos, and I'm just going to play different ideas matching the bass drum and the snare drum with the hi-hat, okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that is super, super interesting. You can create things in your mind. You can build the tension by decreasing the length of the skidoos. You can build the tension by keeping them going, right? If you start with 5 skidoo, for example, and bring it down to 4, 3, 2, 1, then there's this natural tension being built there. So it's very useful to play this way, once again, for your creativity. Now, the issue is backwards and forwards skidoos, okay? So when you are doing this, you have the option of extensions, which I strongly suggest you do, so that it gives you some breathing space to the phrasing, okay? So now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna use the extensions, and we're gonna do backwards and forwards skidoos. Woo! Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you have really beautiful, rhythmically rich textures in there, okay? And of course, you can do it with paradiddles, right hand lead, and everything like that. But you know, once you get this going, you have an incredible amount of vocabulary to draw from. Backwards and forwards skidoos. Remember, if you don't know something backwards and forwards, you don't know it yet. All right? So if you can do these examples, it's going to be really great for your playing. Okay, just a little more playing now with the ride cymbals. You can get used to the sound of this. It's a very particular sound. It takes a lot of concentration, but at the same time, it's such a beautiful result, you know, that I highly encourage you to you know, try to make this happen. Because it's just a beautiful way to play. Not being attached to patterns, but rather simply think of shapes, textures, you know, length of structure, tension and release, all musical things, musical concepts that makes your phrasing beautiful, your playing creative, and well, it's just a lot of fun, okay? So, backwards and forwards skidoo. Remember, backwards and forwards, skidoos, and extensions, okay? See you in the next workshop. Peace.